Hello everyone, and we are here at Cisco Live in Barcelona, and I'm joined with Larissa Horton. And Larissa, there's a lot of conversation going on here at the event, and really talking about the trends that are happening in the workplace. Now we hear a lot about Agile and the speed that teams need to move in today's world, but tell us a little bit more about what's behind these trends and why Agile and the Agile workplace is so important.
Sure. So there's multiple trends that are, as you mentioned, really important. Agility is very much tied to an organization's ability to basically respond to things like market pressure, competitive threats, as well as customer demand. Everything is moving faster, and so companies are trying to find ways to move faster. And one of those solutions is turning to agile work and agile teams. You'll hear things like scrums and guilds, all of these different ways to form basically a group of people that are working together. Another change that we're seeing is an overall workplace transformation. So the actual environment, the physical offices are changing themselves and moving to things like open environments and supporting ways like more flexible working. So whether you're going to work from home, on the road, in your car, you have a lot more options to get your work done.
So gone are the days of those massive dark cubicles, right? Gone are the days I have to be in the office. I don't even have to be in the same town. I can be wherever I want in the world. And it seems like that's a trend that a lot of people want in their work environment. But in the past, that's created a problem to being able to work together. Anyway, we're hearing a lot of those trends. And now in that open floor environment that you talked about, that's wonderful, that's great, right? And it hopefully enables teams to collaborate and get together. But there are times we need to get together in a spot to quickly brainstorm some of our ideas. That's great if you have a large team and you schedule a large conference room. But again, being agile, we need to find a place to brainstorm quickly. So what's the challenge there?
So there's a lot of different ways to be flexible about how you work and get teamwork done. I think part of the entire workplace transformation includes finding more areas for teams to come together, whether it's for creating content together or just being able to have a conversation as a group. Definitely the office walls are coming down. People are able to turn their chair around and just answer questions openly. And they're really enjoying that flexibility and that openness. Actually, it's become a very attractive quality for companies that can support this type of work style. When we look across the entire ecosystem of floor plans and changes in the office, we have a wide range of solutions for them. We want to make sure they can leverage their existing investments. So if you already have a TV and you already have a little coffee table, great, you can turn that into a working space by adding a WebEx share. Let's say you want a space where a group of 5 or 10 people can stand up and have a quick scrum. You can also do that with a RoomKit Mini. We really take any of these open areas and have designed them specifically to work for content creation, meetings, group collaboration. And then if you continue going down that, we have the WebEx board, which is again made not just for your meeting with audio and video, but doing work together, right? We frequently see two people at a whiteboard writing and correcting each other's work. We want to be able to do that kind of work, but in a more digital fashion, where if the next day you don't come to work and you actually work from home, you can still continue where you left off.
So I think that's wonderful, and it was only just a couple of months ago that Cisco launched these great new solutions for these smaller spaces for teams to get together. We call these huddle spaces. Now, one of the problems is in the open floor plan, these little get-together rooms have been created, but there hadn't been collaboration technology within those rooms. There might have been a screen, but not really good collaboration so that when I leave that space, I can continue my teamwork wherever I go. So let's dive into a little bit of each of those 3 products that you mentioned. And let's talk first about the WebEx Share. And what is that, and what does that enable teams to do?
So WebEx Share is very similar to a Chromecast. The only difference is with a Chromecast, you have to still be in the room to be able to share to that screen. With the WebEx Share, if you're in a meeting, even folks who aren't in the room, who may be sharing content into the room or into the meeting, will be able to project on that screen. So it really brings people that are outside of that physical room into the meeting. And so again, you take the share, you add it to a TV, and now the TV is not
any
just
screen.
Any screen, any HDMI input, right? I guess you could add it to a projector.
Yeah.
And you're able to have this collaborative experience, but not just for the people physically there, also the people that are calling in or joining from their car, the coffee shop, you name it. So that's where the share is really differentiated.
And when you pair that with the software, right? The WebEx applications like WebEx Teams, no dongles, no wires, no connections I needed, what happens?
Well, we make it much easier for anyone to be able to share content. You don't have to worry about, I have a PC here at Cisco, we're very Mac heavy, and I don't have the right dongles available because if I don't carry it with me, it's not in the room. And so eliminating all of those concerns makes it such that people are actually sharing more frequently and much more easily. So across the board, you're easily going to find a space, whether it's near the cafeteria or in the hallway or just around the team room, where there's a TV that you can go and share to.
So that's great for you and I just to get together and co-create, but what if we need to bring in people outside of our physical location? We need to have a video conferencing call. What's another solution? The Room Kit Mini. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the Room Kit Mini is great for small spaces, so optimized for these small rooms for 5 people. In most of these cases, it's difficult to get a great camera or a lens view because it really warps the view given how small the room is. But with the Room Kit Mini, we're able to actually still have amazing video and all of the intelligence features that we have in the larger room series. So things like facial recognition and being able to label people's names, as well as room count. And room count becomes even more important. A lot of companies, because as a lot of companies continue to plan their workplace transformation, they leverage data from the first changes that they've made and carry that forward. I worked with a company in Australia where they took one floor and they said, okay, we created these rooms, how many people are actually using it? Let's actually monitor if the big rooms we designed for big meetings are used by that many people, or if they're just used by onesie, twosie, quick meetings. And if that's the case, when we design and renovate our additional rooms, we can actually make changes and ensure that we're making the right type of design rooms for the way our teams are working.
So it's insight that they get, not only those large conference rooms, as you mentioned, but no matter where people meet. And that is huge, as you said, for facilities to be planning in the future. So now let's go to the next one, because oftentimes we need to actually write stuff down. We need to co-create together, and that's where the board 55 in this case. Now we have board 70 and a board 85, but a board 55 for a small room is probably the right size, but tell us why that board is so cool.
Well, the board is cool for a lot of different reasons, but I think the most interesting one is it now takes multiple areas that you used to have to work in and consolidates it all into one, right? And so in the past you have a conference room where I can project content, and then there's a whiteboard on the side, and so I do some whiteboarding over here, I do some projection over there, and then if I wanted to get a file up and running, I have to go get my computer, plug in the right computer, make sure I can access all the right things so that I can project that. And now we're really bringing all of those experiences into the board. So I'm able to share content, I'm able to project video, I'm able to do whiteboarding, and all the additional things like stickies that we just talked about, which really replaces even your physical stickies on a wall. It doesn't even have to be a whiteboard. So really consolidating multiple experiences into a single board.
And the concept of the continuous teamwork, because now I don't have to take out my phone and take a picture of all the sticky notes or the whiteboarding and then email it out, and it can stay together in our workspace. And tell us about how WebEx Teams fits as part of that then.
Yeah, so one of the biggest advantages of having the software and the hardware is you have these great hardware experiences, but at the end of the meeting, it all just automatically gets saved to a team space. It's the same space where you talk, you chat, share files with each other. And so the next day, instead of having to recollect, so what did we talk about? What was on the board? Someone pull up that image, someone go check that email. It's actually all there. And we just start off where we left off yesterday and really don't waste any time just remembering where we were at the day before.
It's really evolving that workflow that happens. So Laura, it's been great talking to you. We've enjoyed speaking with you. If you'd like to learn more about these huddle space solutions from Cisco WebEx, please visit our website and we'll talk with you later.